Hello, this is Coach Razo again. This review is going to go ahead and go over the finding the area of and perimeter of a kite, and some of the other videos are there to go ahead and refresh your memories of what we're working on. And so far, for if it's actually similar to a rhombus, and rhombus is plural, so you have to understand your diagonals and where they're located, and also um, where they're located, um, and pretty much setting up the whole entire polygon and where we're going. Now, this being said, if we're looking for the diagonal in this problem, what needs to go ahead and happen is that we need to go ahead and identify which one is going to be considered the diagonal. So I have 30 right here, and that means if it goes all the way across here, that would also be 30. So a total will be 60. So that'll be 60 meters for my diagonals. Yeah, so they go from corner to corner and they connect. Now, now that being said, the second diagonal what I have is, let me draw in blue, is this one right here. But if you notice, this diagonal was actually a little bit more longer due to these two lines right here that have to be extended out a little bit further, especially the 50. So I don't know this height and I don't know that height. So I don't know the diagonal of my kite. Now, one way to think about it is like, let's say we have a kite, we have like spine, spine, right? And so for the kite, you have a little cross at the very top. So it's kind of like this and kind of like that. So how long is my arm, my forearm, in comparison to my hand? And that's one thing that you have to go ahead and look for on here. Now, that being said, there's certain parts on this problem or that you're given. So if this is 34 and that's 50, this is going to be 34 and that's going to be 50. So now you have certain parts to work with. Now from here, you can go ahead and look for the perimeter already. And so I'm just going to go ahead and take that 34 plus 34 plus 50 plus 50. And that's going to be equal to something. So we're going to go ahead and look for it. My calculator. So we're going to have 34 plus 34 plus 50 plus 50. And that's going to be equal to 168. So this will be 168 meters. Okay. So that's what I have right there. Okay, 168 meters. Now the next part that we have to go ahead and do is that we need to go ahead and find out what the blue lines are. So, but the only way you can go ahead and do that is if you go and look for the triangles. So identify the triangles that you have to work with. And some of you may have already seen there's 4 triangles in here, but we're going to focus on 2 triangles that are going to go ahead and be different from each other. So I'm going to focus on the triangle on top, and there's a triangle at the very bottom. Okay, so the yellow one and the blue one. Now, what happens here is that we need to go ahead and find out what this height is, and we don't know what it is. So we're going to go ahead and use Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and that deals with this triangle. So we have 30, 34, and that's x. So as you're going with it, we want to use Pythagorean theorem with this. So let's zoom in a little bit. Let's see. Go down. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so so I have x, 30, and 34. So I'm going to go ahead and take that 34, and it's going to go ahead and represent letter C in my case because it's a line that never touches the box. That's the hypotenuse. So I'm going to plug in what we know. So x squared plus 30 squared is equal to 34 squared. So as we're going, we can use our calculator to go ahead and solve for what we got. So in this case, use your phone calculator. 30 times 30 is 900. And 34 times 34 is 1156. And then subtract 900. And so x squared is equal to minus 900. It's 256. And then you can square root it. It'll be 16. So x equals 216. So that means this is going to be 16. Now, as we're going with this, so I got 16 for that top part. Okay. Now I need to go ahead and identify what's going to be on the bottom. So if I have this, so now it just matches, let's see. So this would be that part right there. Okay, let's do. So that's this part right here. That's this triangle that we just solved for. So I'm going to look for the blue one now. So as I'm going with it, I'm going to leave what I know. I know this is going to be 30. I know that's going to be 50. And that's going to be x because it's the missing side on the triangle that's going to be needed on this spine along the way. Now I'm going to go and use Pythagorean theorem again. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And so 50 is going to be c in this case. Sorry. 50 will be c in this case. So that's going to be 50 squared. And so I have x squared plus 30 squared is equal to 50 squared. So you're going to go ahead and square it. So 30 squared is 900 from what we just saw from the previous one. And then 50 times 50 is 2,500. And then you have x squared. So minus 900 on both sides. So x squared is equal to minus 900 is equal to 1,600. And then square root it. X equals to 40. So now we have 40 and we have 16. So from here, I know this is 40. So how long is the whole entire line? My whole entire line is going to go ahead and become, well, my diagonal is going to become 56. So come back over here. This is 56. And then from here, you can go and use your area formula. So the area formula is equal to 1/2 d1 times d2, which will be 1/2 times 60 times 56. So as you saw in this one, 1/2 of 60 is 30 times 56 equals to 1680. So 1680 meters squared. So this is what you have for this kite problem. So if you happen to go ahead and be stuck on this one, then just make sure you go ahead and look for your answers on it. Okay, so just double check your work. All it is just simply going through the steps, and as you go through the steps, then you'll have more of a sense of what needs to get done with while you're here. Okay, so always be positive what you're doing, and as long as you keep practicing on your own, you got it. Okay, guys? All right.